Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you a speed and agility drills for a high school soccer team. So let's talk a little bit about some benefits about speed training and agility training, and let's also distinguish the difference between the two. So speed is really just looking at the linear velocity of an athlete being able to take off, where agility is going to be change of directions plus any type of perceptual cognition. So what that means is reading the field. So are they able to predict and kind of assume where their opponent's going to go, where the ball is going to go, and be able to accelerate and decelerate and change directions appropriately. So speed and agility training is going to help enhance that in an athlete, but it should also be noted that you should be incorporating some type of resistance training to increase that athlete's strength and power. So things like power movements that are appropriate, like squat jumps, cleans, and then plyometric training are all going to help develop that athlete outside of these drills. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the speed and agility drills. Okay, so this first speed drill is called the A skip, and how we're going to set it up is we want to make sure the athlete is standing up nice and tall and their shoulders are back, shoulder width apart, and I'll come to the side here to help that. What we're going to do is to get them started is doing the 90-degree flexion in your hip as well as your knee, and then the opposite hand is going to come up and they're just going to switch back and forth and go over a distance. We're going to make sure that they don't actually lean forward. We want to keep that torso nice and upright, and it's all about that quick movement in the ground force. This is going to help with them taking off, and we should also mention that we don't want them coming down on the heel. We want them coming about the middle to the toe part of their foot and really accelerating off of the ground that way. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the A skip. So that is going to be the speed. Again, a little bit quicker than what I just showed you. It's all about that speed and being able to train that athlete. Okay, so the next speed drill that we're going to do are called incline sprints, and this is going to be set for a certain distance that we're going to have that athlete progress towards, and we're going to continue to increase that distance. The benefit of this speed drill is going to be increasing the acceleration phase, so basically how quickly can that athlete take off, which becomes really important again during that change of direction. So how we're going to set this up is at some type of line. We're going to have the athlete basically have their dominant leg in front here, and then they're going to take their back foot and go back about 1 to 2 feet behind them. And we're going to make sure that the hips and the knees and everything are in alignment. We're going to have that athlete come into a ready position. So we want this back knee to be bent because we want the shin to be somewhat parallel with that ground, because we want that athlete to explode out into that phase of acceleration. We're going to have the opposite hand ready to help because we want our arms to actually assist with that takeoff motion. Now when we're down, we want to put about 60% of our body weight in that dominant leg. We don't want to be way back here because that's going to help us be able to push off and accelerate. Again, we're really going to be focusing on pushing that ground away because that's what lets that athlete actually take off. A couple of coaching cues here is making sure that when the athlete does take off, they don't immediately rise up, but that it's a slow progression with their torso and their head coming up at the same time once they get a couple steps out. We want to help them stay lower to the ground in the beginning part because this helps them accelerate even faster, where coming up too soon is actually going to slow them down. Another coaching cue here is making sure that as they're sprinting, more of the weight again is in the balls of your feet to the middle of your foot, and we're not striking the ground with our heel. So I'm going to go ahead and demo just a quick little sprint here. Okay, so we're in our starting position, and we're going. Okay, the next drill we're going to be starting to get into agility drills, and this is going to be a deceleration drill. So we're going to start with this one because it's going to help create that rapid stopping to help that athlete then redirect their movement. So this drill is going to be practicing that rapid stopping, which is really important when we're looking at that eccentric loading. One thing to note with the coaching cue here is that when an athlete is stopping, we don't want them actually stopping with a stiff leg. We want to make sure that they have a little bit of give. If they have a stiff leg, that's going to significantly increase their risk of having any type of injury. So I've set some meters about 15 yards apart, so I have little cones here. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the athletes start running at about 50% of their capacity, and we'll stop once they cross that line. And we want them to stop within 3 steps. A way that we can increase the perceptual cognitive part is that we can actually have them stop on command, so maybe using a whistle. So they're going to have to listen to that stimulus to actually get them to stop during that deceleration phase. So I'm going to go ahead and demo this. Basically we're going to start and then just basically practice that rapid stopping. So as you can see there, I stopped within 2 steps. We really want to make sure that they're stopping within 3 steps on that shorter yardage. Okay, the next agility drill is going to be a shuttle run, the 5, 10, 5. So what we're going to be doing is we have 3 cones set out here. We'll start in that middle cone, and we're going to basically get in that crouching position, and we're going to sprint to the cone here, 5 yards. We're going to touch down with our right hand on that cone, and then we're going to turn and sprint to this other cone, come down and touch, and then come through and sprint all the way through the middle here. And that is going to help with the athlete's sprinting ability, the acceleration and deceleration, and changing directions. So this is going to be the shuttle run 5, 10, 5. A couple of coaching cues here. Again, when we come to the cone, making sure that they're not stiff legs stopping themselves, and then furthermore helping them to be able to shift their weight over into this left leg to then dominate and sprint out versus having more of that weight on that back leg. So that's going to help them accelerate a little bit quicker. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and demo the shuttle run. Okay, so making sure they sprint all the way through the middle there. So that's going to be the 5, 10, 5 shuttle run. Okay, the next agility drill is going to be called the Z drill, and we have 4 cones set up in basically a square. We're going to start in this back cone here. We're going to shuttle across to the back cone, and then once we get to that piece, we're going to sprint diagonally to this front cone, and then shuttle to that right cone here in the front. So you're literally actually going to be spelling out a Z with a shuttle, a sprint diagonal, and then a shuttle across. This can actually be increased, and you can shuttle backwards. So basically you would be shuttling back, you'd be backpedaling, sprinting, and then shuttle back across. So that is an alternative that you can incorporate once the athlete gets a little bit more advanced. So a couple of coaching cues here is going to be instructing that athlete to actually shift the trunk of their body towards the direction that they're wanting to go. And really that's going to be in any type of change of direction. We want their shoulders, their trunks, and their hips to actually face that direction that they're intended to go. We're going to actually start down in basically a shoulder width stance apart and low to the ground. And we're going to maintain this low as the whole time we're shuttling. Once we get to that back corner, we're going to push off and accelerate that sprint. We're going to decelerate, stop ourselves, and then get low again and shuttle to that front cone. So making sure that our athletes are staying low in the shuttle and making sure that they really are emphasized that ground push off once they're going to sprint in that diagonal. So I'm going to go ahead and demo the Z drill. Okay, so that's the Z drill for the high school soccer team. All right, the final agility drill for the high school soccer team, who are going to be beginning to intermediate athletes, is going to be the L test or a 3-cone drill. They're kind of both used interchangeably. So what we have is the cones, they're set up like an L here, and let's say this is cone 1, 2, and cone 3 in that back corner. They're going to get down in a 3-point stance here. So 2 feet on the floor, 1 foot on the hand. At cone 1, they're going to sprint to cone 2, breaking that sprint by touching the ground. They're going to change direction, coming back to cone 1, again breaking that by touching the ground. And then from there, they're going to run from cone 1 around cone number 2, and then they're going to come on the inside of cone number 3, or a figure 8, kind of is how they're saying it. So inside cone 3, and then sprinting all the way around cone 2, back to cone 1. So that's going to be 1 round of the 3-cone drill. A couple of coaching cues here, again, is making sure that that athlete is staying relatively low to the ground, and then when they are coming down to touch the ground here, that they're shifting their weight back to that leg so they can really accelerate quickly. So this drill is great for teaching that change of direction because you're having to change so frequently. And then that figure 8 is helpful for a soccer team as well, because if you're trying to dribble a ball around an opponent, you can get that motion and then really take off with that velocity. So we're going to go ahead and demo the 3-cone drill, or the L-shaped drill. Okay, so that's the 3-cone drill. Again, making sure that that athlete stays relatively close to the cones so they can really get that nice acceleration. So those are a couple of great drills that can be incorporated into the training program for a high school soccer team to increase their speed and agility. Again, a reminder, the overall goal of speed training is trying to limit the amount of time that they're actually on the ground, because sprinters spend less time with their feet planted on the ground, kind of more of time flying. And then the agility is really trying to incorporate that change of direction, that deceleration and acceleration phase, in being able to try to change those directions based off of a stimuli. So as this high school team and these athletes start to advance, you can incorporate more of the drill component to where there's a stimuli. So there's a coach maybe, or a flashlight or something, a laser, to get them to go on a stimuli, because that's going to be more sport applicable. So let me know what you guys think about these drills, and thank you for watching.